Hello everyone. So let's continue what we were saying about ComfyUI, and let's discover together how it works with real example. So let's open it and clean the space to start working. So first of all, to add a node to the graph, you have a couple of different options. One, you can right click, choose add node, and we're going to do a loader, and then we are going to load the checkpoint. So obviously checkpoint is your model. You know, we're used to seeing around, so we just load it that way. Now a couple of other options for adding these, and I'll show you in a second, but what you want to do is just select a model that you want to work with. So we use one of the dreamlike photo reels from Civic, and we'll start there. Alright, so now what we want to do something with this, we have basically a few different processes. We need to apply prompts to this. We need to sample from there, and then we need to encode that back into an image. So we basically have 3 different steps that we have to do. We have another option here. You can double click and then you can type in what you are looking for. In this case, we are going to want a case sampler, and since I used it last, it's going to be at the top here. So I'm gonna show you one other way here, and this is the most convenient. You can basically now click, clip, and drag it out and let go, and then it's going to say what do you want to add here, because it's paying attention. We can then add a node, and which is going to take us to that game, that menu, or we can look through what we have in here, and sure enough, clip, text encode is what we are looking for. Well, there we go. We are going to want 2 of these, one for a positive prompt and one for a negative prompt. Keep them straight. I'm going to right click on it, choose color, and then change this one to green. This will be my positive prompt. I can also right click, go to properties, or go to title, I should say, and in here I can put what I want to change it to. Let's be my positive prompt here. I would highly recommend you do this, because these graphs are going to get complicated quickly, and although a prompt like this sticks out, a lot of these smaller ones might get lost in the mix, and you'll be trying to find where you are, and this can get weird because these graphs can, I don't know, get lost if you have a complicated workflow. So now I want to duplicate this. You have again a couple of different options. One, you can right click and choose clone. This is the way I will not recommend you do it, because that's painfully slow. You could go in and try to find it here again, which again is painfully slow. You have the best option, which is Control C or Command C on your Mac to copy, and we want to paste. We want to hold down the Shift key when we do our Control V or Command V on your Mac. So this is the Control Shift V. We will place it back in here, but it will keep the connections outgoing and incoming in place. So this is a very convenient. So this is the way I want to do this. Now I want to show you one other way, which I think is even cooler, but it's not as interesting if you don't have, or it's more interesting if you have no connections, and then just simply hold down Alt key, and when you click and drag it will duplicate. It's quickly, and so this is a very fast way. So there we go. Now we want to change this one, change the color of this one to red, and we are going to right click and choose title, and it will be our negative prompt. Oh, so now what we have to do next is that you need to sample from this clip, the conditioning that it's given us, and start to work with the model. So we can again click on this and drag it out, and sure enough, okay, sampler is one of the options here. So I'm going to use this, and you see it's already connected to the positive force. We're going to use the negative here. We need the model wheel. We have a model right over here, so we will drag that all the way across here, connect it. We will make that line as straight as we can because we are OCD. Alright, so now what we need is a latent image, and a latent image is basically going to be all the noise we are going to feed into the sampler, and then use the model and the clip conditioning to create the image. So we want to get this the same way we've done a lot of other things. You can actually double click, or let's use the menu for one. So go add node latent, and we go to empty latent image, and there it is, and we'll leave it as 512 by 512. But I'm going to show you how to upscale this as well, and so we're going to drag this latent here. Alright, now we have got a couple different settings in here. By the way, your mouse will scroll out there, so that's very convenient. We have a seed of 0, and you see that after this generates, it's going to randomize the seed. If you love a seed that you have, you can change it to fix, and it won't change it again. It will update one more time. Let's just realize that you may want to copy the seed, before you click again, because it may choose one more before it goes to fixed. So the number of steps we will say 20 of CFG. Classify free guidance is set to 8. The sampler we want to use is Euler here, and then we want to denoise of 1. Why do we want to denoise of 1? Well, we are taking basically a latent image here with noise, and we want to replace 100% noise with the sampled version of the condition model. Now from here we have a latent. Let's find out. Let's drag it out, and we need to be AED code. This is the last step. Let's take the auto encoder, and usually your model will have an auto encoder embedded. If it does not, or you want to use a different one, again you can go, and there is all kinds of different things you can do. So you can load in the LoRa's, you can load in a different types of things, but there is load VAE. If you have a specific VAE you'd like to bring, for example, and you can do that as well. In this case we are just going to use the VAE from way over there and put it over here. Now for nodes like this that don't have any numbers like these, or things I want to tweak, this doesn't have anything tweakable. To kind of minimize it, I will right click and choose collapse. This makes it something tiny that I really don't have to deal with, and I can even hide this in different places. So we do need, however, to access the last nodes on it here. So before we collapse it, we'll grab the image now. We want to save this image as well as preview it. If we preview, that does not save it, but if we save image, that will save in preview. So just know that there is 2 different things. Then shift click, you can move things together, which is really good. So this looks like pretty good. What is that we're looking for? I'm looking for a box of rocks, which tends to be my simple props for almost everything, and a bag of noodles, and a bag of noodles as our negative, just because I put something in there, and I always find that a negative prompt is interesting. It's actually kind of thin of the negative props as the antithesis of what you are trying to create. Rocks are not like noodles, so I don't tend to put like extra hands or things as a whole. There's a whole mess of why that stuff, but I usually just put something. For example, these just be something. So there we go, a lovely box of rocks, just exactly what I was dreaming of. There we go. And we can make this as bigger as we can, and you'll notice that this is going to be 512 by 512. So there we go. We can kind of squish that down so it's displaying it in real size. We can also right click on this and save the image directly from here, which is so nice.